If you've been part of the recent live stream or gone back to watch it, more of them coming soon by the way, you'll see that recently I've been starting to use my drawing tablet a lot more. So today, let's talk about whether it's worth investing into one, the good points, the bad points, and what I personally use it for to help you make a decision on if you need to get one. So starting off with what I use, I have a Wacom Intuos Draw, which isn't the most expensive or fancy tablet, but it gets most of what I need done. Let's go through some of the good points and the bad points of using this drawing tablet. So the first really great point is that most drawing tablets have buttons on them. Now this specific tablet itself has 4 buttons on the top of the drawing tablet and 2 on the pen, which means that these buttons can be mapped to whatever shortcut or keybind combination that I want. And some of these I've got set as Control Z, which is undo, and on the pen I've got a radial menu, which I've got a bunch of other shortcuts to change the pen size, as well as add a new layer or a new pixel layer in Affinity Designer. So it definitely makes it useful to have these shortcuts available at the click of a button. Now then, one of the bad points, which I don't really want to call it a bad point, it's more like a slight difficulty, is it can take quite a while to get used to how to use it. So since the whole front of the face is basically your screen, you have to almost unlearn what it's like to use a mouse. So with a mouse, you'd scroll across the screen to get to where you need to, whereas on a tablet, you can literally lift your hand up and jump to where you actually need it to be, which you do need to get used to, and it can be quite difficult to remember to do that, and you'll find yourself moving the pen along pretending like the pen is a mouse. And it's something that you just need to get used to, which does come with practice, but it is something to begin with that can get really frustrating. But then saying that, onto another good point is the freedom to draw like you're on paper. So the ability to move your pen and draw what you want on the page is super handy to make use of, and it means you can physically draw your designs on the screen. But this freedom also leads to a bad point too, and that is, and I'm not going to lie, it's weird to be holding a pen and to be looking at the screen. So there's a bit of a disconnect with this type of tablet, and unlike pen and paper where when you're using the pen you're looking down at the paper and drawing, with this, when you're using the pen, you're looking up at a screen, which it does take time to get used to the hand-eye coordination to be able to do what you would normally do on a pen and paper. Now, there are more expensive tablets that have screens built into the tablet, meaning you can literally draw on the screen similar to an iPad, and that does get rid of this, but with one of these tablets, it's definitely something that you need to get used to, and something that I struggled with a whole lot when I first started. So really it comes down to what your needs are. If you spend a lot of time drawing or making digital art that would be difficult with a mouse, then I'd say it's worth getting one, because the ability to control your lines is really helpful. And in my experience, now I bought this one at least 5 years ago, and I barely used it because most of the things that I make, I don't really need it for. And until I decided that I wanted to learn digital drawing and get better at it, that's when I dusted it off and actually started using it again. It's definitely personal preference and down to personal need. If you're a drawer that wants to digitally draw, then yeah, sure, get one. If not, if you're not really limited by a mouse to do what you need to do, then maybe it's not for you. And to be fair, if you're really unsure, because I definitely was back then, what I would suggest is get a cheap one. Either like this one that I've got, or a much cheaper one, because there's loads more different companies out there right now. Use it and see if you're going to benefit from it. And if not, you can always send it back, and you wouldn't have spent much on it anyway, so you won't feel as bad not using it compared to if you bought one for like £1,000 and then ended up not using it. Now, if you do want to look at the one that I have, I've left a link down in the description below, so you can check that out if you like. So that's my take on drawing tablets, but what about yours? Do you use one? And if so, what's your experience with it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because you'll never know who it might help. But I hope this information has helped you know if getting one is a good idea for what you do or want to do. So if it has, make sure you drop a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos and more live streams coming very soon as well. And if you're not already, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and also on Twitch. Links to all that below. And with nothing else left to say, I'm BrownBear, and I'll see you in the next one.